Hello, my friends. I'm going to try something different today. I'm going to use up the sky colors I had mixed for my seascape I did the other day. And then I'm going to brush paint and palette knife paint the land part. So I've got some paints standing by, an assortment of Grumbacher tube paints, my brushes, and water, and I'm going to try to do it all in one sitting. So never done this before. We'll see if it works. So let's get to it. I have these assortment of paints left over. One of my friends called it a cotton candy sky, and it definitely was with these colors. So I mixed up a little blue and white today, which I didn't really have before. So let's see, I think I'll start with blue. And go into the lavender. And maybe the white. Did not mix much. I'm using the Gencraft paints you mixed with Floetrol and glue to extend the life of them. And I found it works really well. In fact, I did a Dutch pour. I haven't uploaded yet, but I'm really happy with that. So that was an interesting discovery. All right, back to the blue. This is a fairly small canvas. That seascape was way too big for an experiment. White. And I'm not doing a seascape this time. I'm going to do a landscape. I live in a little valley called the Lompoc Valley, and we have flower fields here. It used to be called the flower seed capital of the world, but I don't think that's the case anymore. We had beautiful flower fields when I first moved here over 30 years ago. We have some, but nothing like it was. And anyway, I've taken many pictures over the years, and I'm going to try to bring to mind one flower field area for the bottom portion of the painting. So that should be enough for this guy. I still have more left, but let's see what happens. I'll do a flip cut this time. I tried a funnel on the seascape, and that's pretty tricky. I see the potential for some really great things with it, but I'm just not comfortable enough with it, so I'm just going to do this. And again, I had to use white from Arteza. I didn't have any white left in the Gencraft, but the rest are all Gencraft. Some custom colors, I can't really tell you what's what, but I will put the recipe down below. Let's move that around and see what kind of a sky we can get. Another cotton candy one, apparently. Well, I may even try using the palette knife on this wet paint here. I can't imagine it would work, but it just might, and maybe I can make it look more sky-like. So I'm going to try it. I mean, that's what experimenting is all about, right? We actually get some beautiful skies here with pinks and purples, oranges. So as crazy as it looks, it's not out of the realm of possibility. And I've got a nice straight horizon line. Look at that. I think I'm going to leave it. In fact, I wanted to paint some hills in the background, which we have. That almost looks like what I wanted to paint, and the nice horizon line. This could be easier than I thought. Don't love that part right there, but I just don't think I want to disturb any further. So unless if I could bring it over this way, sweep it a little bit more, I'm going to do that. Try to get rid of that sharp angle. So I'll bring the weight of the paint there. And then tilt this way. Now that my hills are getting bigger. And my horizon line got messed up, but I think I'm liking that sweep across the top better now. Okay, now I'll just go this way. I've got a UFO flying in the sky there in broad daylight. Just want to get rid of this weird area there. So okay, there we go. And that helped straighten out the horizon line again. Let me turn it over for you now so you can see what it looks like at this point. It's not bad. Kind of fanciful. All right, now gee, I think that could serve as the mountains I was going to put in. I think I'll leave that. And now I'm just going to, where's my palette paper? Here it is. Get these out of the way. I guess I have another painting in my future because I have a lot of paint left. Can you see the palette paper if I put this down here? Pretty much. I'll try to limit it to here where you can see. All right, I'm going to start by using a brush and just kind of block in some dark colors of the basic shape. What I'm going to be doing is flower fields, kind of lavender and yellow and creamy colored flowers. That's my intention anyway. So start with, let's see, I've got deep violet and dioxazine purple. I'll start with the dioxazine. I think that's a piece of cardboard on there. Yeah, doesn't look anything like the tube. It's much darker, which is what I want. And I'm going to tone that down though with a little burnt umber. I could do the whole thing with the palette knife, but I'm not that well versed with the palette knife. So I thought I would just kind of combine the three techniques and see what happens. All right, so I'm going to mix some dioxazine purple with burnt umber to get a nice deep purple, warm purple. I'm just going to kind of slips up. I'm not going to worry about the edges of the canvas. I'll deal with that when it's all dry. And there's going to be an ugly stage, a very ugly stage. Not to worry. I didn't put out enough paint. You really, need to be generous with your paint. I'm just doing a slip slap motion, that's called, kind of making X's. Now I'm going to move to a lighter color. I'll go with the deep violet. Let's just see. I won't clean my brush out. Let's just see what that's like in comparison. It's lightening up a little bit. And pale pink, that's quite a jump from quite a jump in value, so I will brush mix some of those two colors together. And I just remembered, I forgot, I wanted to put green down in the background as well, so I'm going to go right over and do that. I haven't put down a thick coat at all, it's quite thin. Okay, so I hope you can see the gradation of color. I've got 3 colors, basically, 3 values. It gets darker as it goes down here. I'll darken it a little more even, because things closest to you on the plane are more detailed and darker. It fades as it goes back. Yeah, let me add some green. Let's see. All I've got, well, I have got some phthalo. I'll try this. A little of that. Let me grab the phthalo. Yeah, that's more like it. I'm going to squeeze the excess paint out of the brush, but not clean it in water. And go into the phthalo. Wow, that's bright. I'm going to pick up a little of that purple. A little of that green. Okay, I want a nice dark green. And just throw bits of that in there, kind of fill in some of those gaps I see on the canvas. Just to further add some depth to my painting. This is still the ugly stage, my friends. All right, now I need some white. Here it is. Don't be shy with your paint. The only wasted paint is stuff that's left in the tube, I once heard, and I like that. Going into this green I mixed. I think I'll add a little brown. And a little white. That's very blue. That phthalo has a lot of a lot of blue in it, but this has more yellow, that lighter green there. This is not my style of painting. I am very methodical on my painting. I usually like to be very precise and paint more realistically. So for me, this is a challenge. It's a real challenge to loosen up and paint fast and without a real plan. So bear with me. Okay, one more little bit of laying color down. I'm going to lighten up that pinky purple. Block a little bit of that in. Okay, I think that's sufficient for the base coat, kind of a base coat. Let me put some blue down. I'm going to try to meet the horizon line there a little better. Maybe I should just do it with the palette knife, probably. Mixing a little, I think I grabbed cerulean with the dioxazine purple and a little white. I want it to be very pale. Kind of matches the color of the stripe I had going there. I'm just going to tap it in there. Okay. Now I'm going to grab the palette knife, which I am not well versed in at all. So I'm experimenting as much as ever. I'm going to start with the far colors, so the pink and the white, kind of mixing. Yeah, you know what, I'll mix a little bit. Can you see? I hope you can see. Here, what I'll do is turn this around. And use a clean side of the palette. So I've got some some pink and some white. The palette knife, you want to clean your palette knife frequently. Now I'm going to grab both of those, and I should have put the white on top. Now I'm going to grab both of those on the knife. So now I have white and pink. And I'm going to just start putting in some, oops. Okay, you can't get into the, you really ought to try to avoid the, actually I'm going to go this way. The wet paint, the pour part, it doesn't really go. So a little paint goes a long way when you're using a palette knife. I'll go a little bit darker, dipping into the white and the, what is it? Deep violet, I think it was. I'm going to get a little bit darker here. I should have brought more green up into the distance there, but maybe I can tap some in with the palette knife. All right, now I'm going to go with the violet. I'll just pick some, bring it over here for you. Some of the violet and maybe some of this darker violet I mixed. A little of that, a little of that. And tap that in. This time I'm going to make my strokes a little bigger. Because I'm getting, closer to the viewer. Okay, and I'm going to add some highlights to that. So I'm going to go into that same color mix and grab a little bit of white. And just kind of hit and miss little highlights there. Folks, I'm just playing. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just having a little fun here. I keep forgetting to clean my palette knife. I'm just so used to brush mixing on the palette. I don't think about cleaning this. This time, let's see. I'm going to use this part of the palette knife and get some flowers kind of that shape instead of just all like this. So let's see. I need maybe some blue. Not that color though. I have some cobalt blue hue. Let's try that. We'll get some blue violet flowers going here. There's a little blue. Blue violet. Let's see what color that is. Oh, it's very similar to, I just mixed one that I can pour right out of the tube. Isn't that funny? I'll pick a little more blue. Make it more blue violet instead of red violet. Just hints of that. Oh, that's what I said I was going to do this kind of a shape. I don't know, pretty remedial. Let's put some green stems in there. So I'll just take this mix I made with and I've loaded up just the edge of the palette knife. See that? Just by going like this. And now we'll just lay it down and just the suggestion of some stems here and there. I'm sorry I didn't put more planning into this. I really should have. Winging it. So I can't really explain what I'm doing because I don't know what I'm doing. Oh, kind of like that shape. A little more of that and that color. Well, it's much darker than I thought I wanted to go. I'm debating whether to keep working at it or leave it. I'm dying to try some white in the sky, but I don't think it would work at all, so I'm going to leave it alone. Try to keep hair out of your painting. You know what? It's too dark. I'm going to do this. Whoa, that was a lot. That helped, I think. Okay, well, I'm going to stop now. But I think there's potential. Yeah. Like I said, I'm not experienced at all with a palette knife. I've done a few things, but not in a long time and not very well. Let me take my gloves off and bring you in for a closer look. I like the sky. And my flower field's a little weird, but it's okay. Oh, I have an idea. I'll try to do it upside down. I should add some yellow to the flowers, and it will kind of help tie in the sky with the flowers in the bottom. So let me just put out some of this Cad Yellow Deep. And just very sparingly add some little yellow spots of yellow here and there. All right, I'm going to stop there. There. Oh boy. I don't know if you'll even see the light of day, if this video will be made public, but probably will. Let you know that experimenting is part of the process. Okay, my friends, thanks for joining me.